Well, Brisbane man Mark Keans is suffering from terminal cancer. His doctors say it's unlikely, sadly, that he'll make it to Christmas. His family, including his 4 young children, reside in New South Wales. They've appealed to the Queensland Government and Queensland Health for permission to travel across the border for one last visit with their dad. Given Hollywood stars like Tom Hanks, entire sporting leagues like the AFL get these sort of exemptions almost routinely, you might have thought they'd have some chance. But Queensland Health's response? Choose just one child. Just choose one that can say goodbye. Mark's father, Bruce Langborne, joins me now from Eden in New South Wales. Bruce, thank you for your time. I know this is an incredibly difficult time for your family. I think you are incredibly courageous to come on tonight. Thank you. How are you supposed to choose just one of your grandchildren to visit their dad?
Well, when we were originally told that there's no one in the world we could choose one. It was just impossible. I mean, we could choose possibly one adult, but we definitely couldn't choose one child. Since then, we've actually had Queensland Health contact us today and give us another offer, which is probably as impossible as the first one. They've said we're allowed to come in. We drive straight to the hotel. We will then go into quarantine. We will be escorted, all of us, in full PPE equipment, gear, and supervised, and have supervised visits, and then taken back by taxi.
And are we saying that you have to do 14 days of quarantine before you can have that first visit?
No, we're allowed to visit during quarantine, but we must be in full PPE gear. Now, I've been a parent for a long time. I've fostered nearly 300 children. Child to sit there for 2 or 3 hours
and be quiet. I think it's impossible. And we'll be supervised to make sure they do.
You would have heard the story about Sarah today, barred from her dad's funeral.
I did, and that was gut-wrenching. It really was.
Queensland Health had earlier labelled... Yeah, I think the country is. Queensland Health had earlier labelled you selfish because you're wanting sort of access that other cancer patients are also wanting. I can't see what's selfish about 4 little kids under 13 wanting to say goodbye to their dad.
They're still saying that. It's quite funny because we said about we would get all COVID tested before we would come up. And they said, no, we don't, excuse me, we don't need to do that. We can do that after we've been there for a couple of days, but we need to be covered with full PPE gear so we don't give him any other infections which may affect his chemo. Which to me reads that every person who runs into Mark, full stop, be they New South Wales or Queenslanders, have to be in full PPE gear so they don't infect him. I think it's just ludicrous. They're not using the COVID-19 now, I guess, as they're using any other disease or any other bugs we might give them.
What's been the reaction of your son, Mark?
Well, he actually had a conversation with Queensland Health today, and he's just come out of another round of chemo, and he's pretty weak and pretty weak. And they in a sense, they bullied him to try and get him to agree to different things that they wanted. And the terms as they use to protect him.
And how are your grandchildren? They're young. How are your grandchildren coping with all of this?
To be honest, the younger ones themselves don't fully understand the gravity of the situation. They know he's sick, but they don't understand how sick he is. I think the oldest one will probably understand it, but the others don't as yet. Which I suppose in some ways is a little bit of a godsend at the moment.
Do you think there are 2 rules, those that are rich or have got football under their arm and those that are not, those that are in your circumstance?
Oh, definitely. 100,000%, yeah. If we had a super yacht or anything like that, we'd have no problems. I mean, we could pay the $1,000 and then go on holidays. We're not going there for a holiday. We're going there for a damn good reason.
Is there much COVID-19 where you live in Eden?
There's no COVID-19. There's never been any COVID-19 in Eden. There was in the town about 30 k's away from us about 2 months ago. But I've got a daughter in Tumut. There's been no COVID-19 full stop there. A son in Wagga, no COVID-19 there. And my wife and that is in Port Macquarie, and there's been no COVID there for 3 months. So, I mean, it's not like we're coming from a COVID area. None been anywhere near us.
What would you like to say to the Queensland Premier tonight on behalf of your grandchildren?
To start looking at each case individually and not just treating it as everyone as just a blanket case and we're not going to let you in full stop, I don't care who you are. But start looking at each individual case and understanding why people are applying to do what they're doing. That's all they need to do is look at each case individually.
God bless, Bruce. God bless you
Thank
and
you.
your family. I really hope there is some movement there, and all the best to your son, Mark, and of course the 4 children. We'll stay in touch.
Yep. Okay, thank you.